He's got a very interesting panel. They're all from very different walks of life. So I don't know how you're going to manage these 5 people on the stage. So they're going to talk about AI and how to use that in order to create proper loyalty programs. Because loyalty programs, I think, are really underserved right now, in my opinion. We don't make use of all of the data that we have. So in terms of the loyalty programs, in my opinion, hotel industry in general is severely underutilizing the data that it has. Because we have pardon my French, a crap load of data on our guests. How they book, what they like, what they buy, all of the bills that they leave in the hotels, and we do virtually nothing with it. We could have long time ago, with the existing technology, created, I know there is a startup in India which is just about to do that, create a heat map, a path of the guest through the house in order to be able to build an automated room that will allow his experience in a hotel to be 100% customized. It's definitely not difficult to do that. Even I am a complete tech zero. I don't know what other word to use. But even I can kind of sort of imagine on how to do that. So I hope they're going to talk a bit about that, because he's got cruises on his panel, he's got F&B on his panel, he's got small boutique hotels on his panel. So I hope they have it figured out. Are you done? I'm tired. Okay. Please welcome your moderator for the next session, Mr. Turab Salim, who is just about to go up.
Attraction and retention. Challenging one, challenging topic, but we have an amazing panel from different background, from different service lines. I'm hoping we can throw some lights and cover it up. We have Mohammed Margalani, Chief of Asset Operations from Dan Hospitality, Dan Company. Mohammed Alatal, CEO AMSA Hospitality. Ghassan Khan, Chief Strategy Officer, Saudi Cruise, please. We have J.S. Anand, CEO, Liva Hotels, Anand. There you go. And we have Alessandro, Regional Director for Middle East, Platino Company, please. Please. You can have the mics. Thank you very much. Thank you. So the topic is mastering guest attraction and retention. Can you explain, Mohammed, in your opinion, what does it mean, attraction and then retention, and why it is important in our industry? So just the audience understand the details of it, what the topic is all about.
Thank you, Turab, for breaking the ice on my account. We'll be happy, I'll be glad to share some insights. So my name is Mohammed Margalani. I spent almost 18 years of experience in hotels operation. I used to be cluster general manager for the Ritz-Carlton. I've been there for 12 years. And recently I have moved to one of PIF projects called Dan Company. We are specialized in agri-tourism, enabling farm owners to turn their farms into a farm stay. It is a very excited project. So in regards to the mastering guest experience, I mean, this is a main topic for all hotel operators, and I'm sure all of you agree with me. In order to make sure that you get your bottom line, you need to make sure that the guests are happy and they are loyal and they keep coming back again and again to your hotel. And nowadays, with the digital transformation, there has been a lot involved with digital and tech in order to master the guest preferences and retention, and make sure that this guest is loyal to your brand. And whenever the guests go to sleep, they will dream about your brand. I think this is the ultimate goal of each general manager, right? It's a very, very hot topic, and for me, focusing on bottom line comes after focusing on guest loyalty, because this is what will generate to all of you. And I think during the discussion we will discuss more about, in details, about some aspect of creativity and innovation in this area.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Alessandro, with 500,000 keys we have in the region coming up, with Saudi particularly 325,000 keys which are in the pipeline. With these many hotels coming, how we can differentiate ourselves, one hotel or one business, how we can differentiate with such a, tomorrow is going to be such a competitive market?
Good afternoon, everyone. I would just like to continue on Mr. Mohammed. Bottom line is so important, right? At Palatino, we work with around 3,000 hotels around the world. Best hotels on class. We are happy to work with them and support them. And what we see is we have a pulse on what's happening around the world and what is different. You know, every hotel has to have their Forbes and 5 stars and 5 diamonds, etc. And that is indeed the bottom line, right? We have a cappuccino has to be served in 3 minutes, and your cocktail has to be replaced between 10 minutes, otherwise you will lose a point. And everyone talks about guest experience, but what we see that things are shifting on in the world that is emotion. You know, our guests in the luxury market have the best, you know, Ortigia perfumes or Beltrami sheets in their houses, and hotels in Middle East have now power to invest and has the best interior design, the best OS&E, the best FF&E, but then how do you go the extra steps? And, you know, you need to remember their name, and you need to, you know, serve from the right, and those are all the touch points, but then how do you go after that? It's all about how the brand is able to cascade the brand DNA into the touch points. The notepad is not only a notepad. The guest will pick up the pen, and the pen has to be heavy enough to look luxurious. A hotel in the Red Sea compared to a Lola will have a different type of pen, a different type of OS&E. And this is what sets you know, the luxury requirements and the luxury needs. We are here in the business of making dreams. People want to dream about us once they go home. I don't want to feel home when I'm in a hotel. And you create the need the client didn't know they needed, and then that becomes their standard. They will go back to another hotel in another country, and they'll be like, I know, but I had a much better experience in a Lola, because that little spark created something, an emotion. It's a smell, it's the way the lighting is dim, not turned down, it's the way the butler is unpacking or wrapping your items with a ribbon that is branded, is all those touch points.
Thank you, thank you. Mohammed, we are in Saudi with our Saudi hospitality, our culture, our heritage. How we can integrate those elements to make guest experience unique?
Well, thank you for having me. Sorry. Okay, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
The hospitality industry is within the Kingdom DNA. One of the main goals of the Saudi Vision 2030 comes from tourism, and it reach up to 10% of the Kingdom's GDP by 2030. So that gives us a huge opportunity in the hospitality sector. When it comes to attraction, as you just mentioned, I believe the Kingdom is almost a continent where we do have everything for everyone. We do have beautiful mountains, beaches. So basically, you can do whatever you want, and that's what's really appreciated. And not forget that the security and the safety in the country, what really appreciates to travelers. When it comes to retention, on the other hand, the genuine and the generous of Saudis is within the culture. So that's what keeps eager for consumers to come back and again and feel like they're in their second home.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Mr. Anand.
I'm trying to see.
You're running an amazing hotel brand, and in your understanding, what are the key factors that you rely on in terms of attraction and in terms of retention, and to make sure this is the foundation of your growth of your brand?
In general, I would say Saudi as a market at this point has exceeded the numbers from 100 million to 120 million. That's the major growth over a couple of years. See, we break it down to the basics. You can build hotels, and I put an article out there which says hotels are not built with chandeliers. You need to go down to basics. And for me, Saudi Arabia is building a lot of hotels, but it has a lot of opportunity from a guest-centric standpoint. We can keep talking and saying that we're going to build hotels, but at the end of the day, let's go down to the basics and see what is happening at the front desk. How does the food and beverage present a menu to you? How does the housekeeping recognize you as a guest? I think the tools are available. We love to talk big in terms of wanting to do X, Y, Z. But if you want to do guest retention, you really need to go down to basics. And for me, the more I experience Saudi at this point, I feel there is a lot of gap, and the gap can be improved. And we really maximize on all the tools in terms of reputation management, in terms of online social, travel networks. And we drill in each hotel. We go down to basics, and that means training. We don't go for extensive bells and whistles. That's why we came on TripAdvisor as #1 in Dubai out of 1,100 hotels. And so for us, guest-centric contributes to about 70% of the experience.
So you're saying basics, if the basics are delivered in a right manner and in a consistent manner, the word consistency is rare, and this is where I think the focus is. If you are consistent, you are the winner. Ghassan, Saudi cruise is cruising high, is penetrating, is bringing something new on the table for the region, not only for Saudi, but for the region. With the Red Sea, with NEOM, with other areas connecting to this in the future to Saudi cruise. And what is your philosophy in terms of guest retention? At first attraction, because it's a new business for you, and then comes to the next level.
Okay, so, well, first of all, thank you for having me here and speaking on behalf of Cruise Saudi. So maybe I need to give a little bit of background of what we're trying to do in Cruise Saudi and how this is complementing all of the tourism that was spoken to with my colleagues here. Our role in Cruise Saudi is to establish the industry of cruising and attracting cruising into Saudi Arabia, which means more tourists coming from abroad. And that, of course, has infrastructure implications where you can receive cruise ships. We have 10 locations around the kingdom that are mostly connected to attractions like Al-Ula, like the Neoms, like Jeddah Old Town, like in the south, like Al-Hassan on the east, and so on. Now, access from the sea comes through us and us being able to attract customers. Going to what my colleague said, back to the basics. Now, once the people come, what do they need to see? They need to have a diversity of offering. They need to have ease of transportation. They need to have everything from the luxury to the adventure to the nature and offerings like that. That's key to the success. So we're a piece of this puzzle. On the other hand, we have the other business where we're actually building our own cruise line, and we're launching Arroyo at the end of this year, which is a cruise line dedicated to the Arabian market.
So what in this cruise line of yours, which is going to be unique and one of its kind, what are the fundamentals? Like Anand said, that focus on fundamentals, and if you are consistent on fundamental, you're the winner. So what are your fundamentals related to Saudi hospitality, as you said very rightly, that it is in our DNA. So what is your DNA in Saudi cruise?
Our DNA from Arroyo, which is our own cruise lines, is we have our tagline. It's a remarkably Arabian product. It's a product, a cruise line is a cruise line, but it's tailored to the Saudi and GCC market and probably in the next phase to the extended Arab world. What does that mean? It means that we really have to understand, preferences across. When you look at cruises, it's not just it's not just a mode of transportation. It's hotel, it's F&B, it's retail, it's entertainment, kids entertainment, wellness, sports activities, and so on. So we will continuously have to test and see what works and what doesn't work. We have 15 restaurants on board. We have 20 entertainment venues on board. And we have to continuously do that. In order to establish loyalty, we'll have to have repeat customers, which means we have to always be innovative and keep changing our programming.
So guys, get ready. Saudi cruise is coming. It's on its way. One of the finest cruise setup in the region. And here we have the person here giving us the right direction so we can enjoy that experience.
Starting in December, so...
We are ready. We have to plan December holidays, so guys, get ready, please. Muhammad, in your experience, keeping Saudi hospitality in mind, the guest is coming to Saudi. What are the key elements that one needs to consider to keep that guest attracted and retain it from Saudi hospitality point of view?
So Saudi Arabia is famous with the hospitality. As my colleagues mentioned, it is in their DNA. It's a bread and butter, so it comes by nature. All Saudis, they have been grown up with hospitality in their blood. So it's, for me, I always tell the people, it's a matter of integrating the authentic Saudi hospitality with international frame or international standard. And how will this mix comes to life? By having international expertise, such as yourself, coming to the kingdom and helping and assisting our younger generation to integrate the Saudi hospitality into international frames. I'm very happy to see a lot of my role model in hospitality, such as Horst Scholze, the founder of the Ritz-Carlton, Hervé Hamler, coming to Saudi to participate and be part of the vision. Just imagine having the international standard of hospitality integrated with the home of hospitality. I can call Saudi Arabia is the home of hospitality, the generosity, because the Saudi Arabia opened its door to the world, right? And we are having people coming from all around the globe. So it needs to have the authenticity of service. The people are coming here, and I'm assuming that they are coming here to see the true hospitality of Saudi Arabia, right? The generosity of the people. But just imagine we complement that with international standard. It will be undefeated or unfound hospitality aspect of the country. And I expect in the next 5 years, the level of services that is provided in Saudi Arabia, it will be very niche and it will be very authentic and define Saudi Arabia from other countries around the globe. And I'm looking forward to see that. The good thing is that if you go now to Diriyah Gate, and you see the tour guides are all young Saudis, speaks different languages. English, French, Italian, Japanese, Chinese. I swear, you find them, speak multiple languages. And the way they welcome you and take you around Diriyah to see all the heritage places, I was surprised. I was very surprised and amazed by the way they welcome you. And you can distinguish this type of hospitality. It's like whenever you travel to any place in the world, they have their own speciality, right? I enjoyed going to India, for example, and seeing the people there, doing their namaste, their welcoming. It's a very special. It gives you a warm feeling of the people, right? And I'm expecting that all people in the world, they want to come to the country to see what makes Saudi special, right? What authentic of hospitality they provide. I hope I managed to.
Thank you. Muhammad, what is the right balance between, there's a lot of tech coming in to deal with the guest handling, guest complaints, guest preferences. So what is the right balance between tech and the human service, human touch? Where do you balance it?
Okay, so let's not forget that hospitality is people's industry. While tech is there to help and enhance, the efficiency. Sure that a robot can deliver you your room service. However, with the human interaction is much more pleasurable, much more friendlier. Guest retention happens when there is a human interaction and feels in connection between the guests and the hotel itself. So I believe that we need to find a balance in between the tech and the beauty of the efficiency and the human element in that area.
A very interesting question, which way we are directing. I'm just not only asking you, in general also. It's a very interesting question, which way we are heading. Is it going to be more tech? Is it going to be more human? So based on some of the studies that Knight Frank has done, doesn't matter how important is the human touch, everybody says so, it is going to gear towards AI, it is going to gear towards technology. So this is going to go. It's just a start. If you just go to Dubai airport, from drop-off to sitting to your plane, no human, and the guy has paid the top dollar in the first class. The top is the most expensive airline in the region right now. No human touch in between. He's dropped off, he's reached to his seat in between, no human connection, and he's happy. He's happier than ever before. Why? Nobody is, because whenever there's a human interaction, there is an element of error, despite all your best efforts. So the Dubai airport has eliminated everything. Now you go straight, and the people are just enjoying and loving it. It cuts out the time, it adds efficiency. This is going to happen in the hotel too. It doesn't matter, it's a 3-star or is it a 5-star, it is going to happen. Those who are going to be the winner are the one who adopt it quicker and faster.
Jump in on, you mentioned that you're creating the Arabian experience and you want to bring that to life within Saudi Arabia. You know, the biggest asset in the market is the human capital. Your human capital, I mean, I haven't lived here all my life, but I have experienced one of the best services from the local human capital, but we need to take them to the next level. By building more, we are not defining a growth in the market. By building, at the same time refining it and creating an experience defines guest retention, a sense of arrival, a check-in. Whatever you want to do, whether AI or IA or DI or whatever it is, human capital is not going to go anywhere. You need this quality of people that we have. And at the same time, why not look at the possibility of, because we're not the best paying industry in hospitality, why not look at the possibility of taking them to the next level by providing training schools, hospitality schools? That's my 2 bits.
No, amazing. I think very, very important point that you have highlighted.
And just to add on, if you may,
Mohammed.
that the Ministry of Tourism, with their national tourism strategy, going back to the training, they are creating up to 1.6 million job opportunities that comes within the sector. And by doing so, that is by connecting and having partnership with the most prestigious academic schools in hospitality worldwide. So that's add-on. Yes, I agree with you that technology will take on, but I believe that it might be a complement, or it will be a complement. At the same time, in future, we might find that it's cost much more expensive than the human factor.
True.
The technology is basically making it seamless experience.
True.
It doesn't take over the human side.
No, you still, as you said rightly, I think if you combine together your arguments, you need to train people to deliver that technology. Without that, there will be no seamless technology.
So the good thing, we're going to keep our job, right? Yeah?
Sorry?
We're going to keep our job.
I don't hold a job.
Hopefully, right?
In all jobs, with the way the market is growing, the region will have 1.3 million keys by coming 6-7 years. It will be one of the global tourism hub. You will have 4 most powerful airlines will come out of this region. So not that your job is secure, you will be the star among the Saudi brothers that we have here. And so it is secure, I can guarantee that. My data shows it's secure. Anand, with your expertise in your field, loyalty program, how important role do they play in first attracting and then retaining in your industry, in your particular organization, Liva, and in general in the industry, if you share some thoughts?
See, most of the global brands have done an amazing job on loyalty programs, whether you call it Bonvoy, or Hilton Honors, or I don't know which one is Starwood, but all of them, there is a base of customers they bring to an investor or an owner, which reduces the cost of marketing, reduces the cost of making a reservation. But I look at it from a flip side. From a strategy standpoint, you cannot discount the Booking.coms and the Wakanow or Expedias of the world. I personally, as a brand which is homegrown out of Dubai, always face challenges because we don't have a strong loyalty program. But at the same time, you need to understand that we are a growing company with about less than 1,900 keys, out of which 50% is under construction. We're not going to have a loyalty program tomorrow. So that's going to take time. But absolutely, from a contribution standpoint, from the distribution in terms of reservations and the global reach, absolutely important.
The loyalty programs are important and they will play a key role. The definition of upcoming loyalty program will be different. They will not be what you see. They will be the new generation which are coming. They will be needing instant gratification. So not that I purchased something and did something and 6 months down to the road, I'm looking for a reward. No, they want, the new generation want then and there the results. So the type of loyalty program will change. Alessandro, from operational point of view, what can be in this region, Saudi market, this is quite a big hub, what can we do, tailor-made elements that will make us unique? Some of our colleagues have highlighted some elements. In your understanding, what can be some tailor-made elements that makes our hospitality unique, that can help us retain and the guests?
So, again, linking on Mr. Mohammed, I'm not Saudi myself, right? I've been in Saudi since 6 years, and I'm blessed to have been living the change since 2018. Things got amazing, and for us as a hospitality operation and hospitality professionals, living this on our skin every day, it's a blessing. And everyone wants to now put the Saudi touch, and it is so important, but sometimes it's so underestimated. Do I really need a coffee cup with the Saudi pattern? Will that do the job? Maybe not. So as part of my team, I have a lot of Saudi talents, and you know, when we go and think about, you know, a branding program, we're creating a new restaurant identity, and then it's like, how do we cascade that? And Saudi has been open to the world since the past like 3 to 4 years, as you know, the massive marketing and advertising, and you know, you have the pool of habitats, Halola, banyan tree in the rock that went viral, right? So you have those touch points, but I still believe at the time that is still a white canvas. I think the Saudi market has a golden ticket to get it right the first time. You still have that mystique. You still have that unknown of the country, right? A lot of people, Saudis don't know. Saudis come in, how you live in Saudi? How is the hospitality there? How is the business there? It is indeed in the DNA. I myself feel welcome every day, and at the cafe, at the Starbucks, at the shop, you know, and that cascades, you know, from your daily life into the luxury hospitality. We work on some programs, and then we engage, you know, and just going back, there are so many regions in Saudi, and I was blessed. I was in Umluj before Red Sea Global was a thing. I was in Hassa, I was in Taif, and eating their mangoes, etc., right? You have local chains and local identities that are coming on, and everyone has a golden chance to make your service really special. The same smell you will have in a hotel in Alola shouldn't be the same in Taif. It is the same country indeed. It is the same Silk Road or thread that links everything, but it shouldn't be the same, people need to really experience that, and it goes with
In which way we can differentiate?
Yes.
In your opinion, what are the elements? If you pinpoint 3-4 elements, okay, these are the one that guys, if you fine tune it, make it Saudi hospitality elements add into it, what are those areas?
Well, it's all about the emotion that you get into the hospitality, right? When you walk into a restaurant or into a spa the first time, what is the smell? Is it something that links you to the place? It's, we go back to the overspoke sense of place. This is one of the touch points. I will go back home and I'll remember, oh, that smell was so good. I want to get it again. We get inquiry. I want to buy that scent. I want to take it to my house. What is the menu curation? Okay, we could have a dessert that has the cardamom as a signature ingredient, but how we communicate that to the client? How do we teach them or instruct them or engage them in the preparation or the cure or teaching them what is really from that area, what is really special about that dish?
Please. You said.
See, there are commonalities. He said food and beverage. You go to a restaurant. I want to see more local stuff. I want to see local talent there. Presentation of the product, difference in terms of cuisine, a sense of arrival. There are certain things that lack as far as F&B is concerned, and same thing goes for when you're checking in or when you're arriving to a hotel.
Just to share a quick experience, I have opened around 78 different restaurants, and I have a privilege of opening Saudi restaurant brand last year. And the cuisine from 13 different regions is so mind-blowing, is so rich, is so diversified, but it's not been known to the world yet. So now it's in a process of refinement. There is under Saudi tourism, there is a Saudi Ministry of Culture, there is a Saudi culinary section which is refining it so we can show and showcase the culinary power to the world. Culinary tourism is much easier, quicker, and inexpensive to attract people. So I think Saudi Ministry of Tourism and Culture, both ministries have realized how it can do wonders to the city, and now it's in a process of refinement so they can show the world how rich and colorful this cuisine is. Coming to Saudi cruise, please share us some of your training for the Saudi talent. What are you doing to train them in a way so they can deliver some exceptional services to your clientele?
Sure. I mean, what we're doing is actually tagging along a lot with the programs mentioned by my colleagues. We're influencing certain things from the Ministry of Tourism, STA, development of tour guides who are actually multilingual speakers, who can actually take you through Diriyah, Jidda al-Balad, Al-Hassa, Medina, and so on. Now, there is a lack of talent there, but there's a huge potential because of the people who are actually willing to take these jobs now. There's 1.6 million jobs to be created in this, so the level it can only get better, right? So, but our job from a commercial company is to start influencing the agenda of Ministry of Tourism and Saudi Tourism, exactly where the pain points are. So that's on the tourism and tour guide side. On the technical side, there's a whole other thing. Ship management, ship operations, and things like that. We've JV'd with the best in class in the world to actually start programs here. When we launch our cruise line, we won't have an all-Saudi crew.
Sure, I'm sure.
But then no cruise line in the world has an all-one nationality crew. What you really need to do is to have diversity. The easier first is to do the front lines. And that's where we're going first. Life at sea is very different than life at a hotel on land. So there's a whole lifestyle that needs to be adopted. There's also things that we need to work with the Ministry of Human Capital, the way you do employment, time on board the ship versus off board the ship, and so on. So this is almost like in a shipping business somehow with a little bit of a hospitality. So in that sense, we are working on capability building, but it will take a long time. But the good news is that there's a lot of improvement. I've been with the company 4 years. The first year, right after COVID, we had no tour guides who spoke. Maybe we had some who spoke English, but that's it in Jeddah al-Balad. Today we have people who are speaking German, Italian, French, and so on. The thing is, there's a willingness from the people to learn. There's a willingness from the government authorities to train. So now it's about tapping into this potential.
It seems an easy task, but not an easy task to develop and enhance the capacity level to a different international level. If you are competing in the international arena, you want to build and develop and enhance your capacity to that level where people can enjoy and come back.
Yes, I mean that's true. It's not an easy task, but I think knowing how the kingdom has progressed in the last 5 years, I think we've done leaps and bounds, to be honest.
Great,
I mean,
great.
I was before in Cruise Saudi, I was in the Entertainment Authority, and if you tell me 7 years ago we'd have this level in the tourism, I would have said no way. But it's getting there. Now the thing is, there's the old proverb of if you build it, they will come. I mean, there's so many things coming into place at the same time, and the level of excitement that's happening from the people and from the younger generation about being exposed to new skills, learning new skills, and looking at the world differently is amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Mohammed, one tricky question towards you. You do deliver consistent service during the normal times, but here Saudi religious tourism plays an important role. So during the peak seasons, when is it a Hajj, is it a month of Ramadan, when you have millions of people gathering at the same time, at that level to provide the quality, but consistently, how to handle this challenge to make sure that, because at the end of the day, the message is a good service or bad, all of a sudden you have millions of people in a given time. The good will do wonders to you. Anything which is average or below average, it will damage the name too, or reputation too. Share your thoughts on this.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you for the great question, Turab. It's a challenging. I mean, especially when you look at it, hosting a couple of million in one place for a couple of days, let's say 4 days, 5 days. I mean, it's a quite challenging. It's something not very easy. And previously, the people over there. So I have worked in Mecca for almost 2 years, and that was in 2009, 2010, and Mecca used to be well known for handling crowd. There was no level of service, a standard level of service, a high level of service provided over there. So all the hotels over there, it used to deal with the customers as quantity. So they are dealing with quantity. They are not focusing much on guest retention or loyalty of the guest or guest satisfaction, because it used to be a little bit somehow difficult and not that the priority was not there. The priority was you have a quantity, let's deal with them, let's deal with the crowd. But apparently now, if you look at the last Hajj, which was performed this year, I mean, such a success rate was there, I mean, big time, even the year before. And you can see the level of services over there. Even the hotels, the number of international luxury hotels that has opened in Mecca, those hotels help to change the concept, the misconcept in Mecca, that there is no quality, there is no service. In a way that you go there to those hotels and you find even a lot of services, including spa. So you can go there and you can find a lot of facilities that has been established to please the guest and to offer more options and more services. And the spa is a big part of it. I believe a good planning for this short period of time to maintain the guest, satisfaction, either during Ramadan or during Hajj. The manpower plays a big role of it. Training the people, educating the people how to deal with a big number of tourists coming to one place in a shorter period of time. I believe during Hajj and Ramadan period, a lot of what is right now, they ask for a task force or a part-time job. So I know a lot of people who are living in Riyadh and living in Jeddah. During Ramadan and Hajj, they take their vacation during that time just to go and support in Mecca and Medina during Ramadan and Hajj. And the reason behind that is to make sure that the level of service is maintained and is not impacted by the big number of guests. So a good plan for the seasons. I believe the people, they are getting used to it. And
Yeah, you're right, absolutely. So the overall Makkah-Medina market, boats will cross around 100,000 keys each. 100,000 keys means there are not many cities in the world that have that number of keys. And the level of quality and service is changed dramatically in these two cities. And we never had as you said rightly, people say it's a bulk quantity and serve them in a bulk manner with no details in it. But now there are fine dining restaurants are coming. There are spas coming. We never thought when you go for religious tourism you will look into these elements. And now with the Four Seasons and all these great brands are coming, Mandarins and Shangri-Las and East and West, the finest of the finest services are coming to these cities. So this will bring the competition, which will elevate the overall level of service in these two cities. So gradually it is shifting from a bulk, it will still be bulk, but you need to provide services. If you're charging a couple of 100,000 Riyal a night rate, you will provide the services.
allow me just to add one thing. So right now, even if you go to Hajj, there are many levels. So there is a 5-star hotel, 4-star hotel. Even during Hajj, when you want to perform a Hajj or be a pilgrimage, you can choose between different type of campaign, right? So you have the ultra luxury. There is ultra luxury campaign for Hajj, and there is a 5-star, there is a 4-star, there is a 3-star, and you have the choice. You want to look for a quality, probably you should go for the luxury if you can afford it, right?
Thank you. Mohammed, how can we, with Saudi now going to be regional Middle East Africa, one of the hospitality hub, how can we be ahead of the curve and bringing some new trends in terms of guest retention and attraction?
Well, as I said, that Saudi is almost a continent, so we do have everything for everyone. We do have beautiful beaches, mountains, and so on and so forth. So I believe it is an attractive location or country to be. We have just started maybe in actual tourism in 2017, and we have already reached by 2023 103 million, which was the target by 2030. So we have raised the bar so much, and the biggest assets that the kingdoms has is the people. So the generation, the young generation, that the hospitality that's behind the culture itself makes it a real difference. So I believe that everyone wants to be here and to be part of this interesting visit.
Thank you. Thank you. Alessandro, family, if you look at the 100 million visitors we had this year, by March, Saudi did 100 million tourists, and majority, there was a good chunk of families that visit internally and externally too. What can we do to attract GCC and the Middle Eastern family segment? What can we offer? What can be unique to capture that segment?
Well, I think it's one of the new trends, right, that is coming up. We didn't hear so much here in Saudi talking about families or family tradition or kids programs, etc., right? So working with a lot of pre-opening hotels here is one of the requests that we get a lot. Is like, what do you do for families? What do you do for the kids? And because Saudi family and tradition and culture is so embedded in spending a good time together, taking care of your kids, And where there is a joke, if the kids are happy, the family is happy. What are you going to do? So we work with hotels more and more on creating both objects and touch points that get given as a giveaways. So we work with, creating a mascot and giving it a name, maybe a name that is Saudi, and we go into the storytelling of why that name is important. We worked on a kids program for one of the hotels here in Riyadh, and they created an Arabian horse, and they call it Turfa, and because what's Turfa in the historic name of the Saudi horse. So this is something that is both on the engagement of the kids and reflecting and teaching about the local culture, and then goes into the experience touch points, right? Is it just a normal cooking class? Maybe no. I want the kid to remember how to do the kapsa, for example, right? As much as it's an everyday dish. Okay, it's not luxury, it's maybe not the sexiest dish, but it's the bread and butter, the kabza, the rice and meat of the Saudi culture, and we don't need to forget that. Yes, we can have a beautiful teddy bear, but will that be forgotten in a drawer, in a suitcase once you get home? Yes, maybe. But then you have a kabza class that for sure they will not get at the St. Regis, New York, for sure they will not get at the Rosewood, Hong Kong. So it's really, again, going into the emotional intelligence of the staff, trying to pick up on the kids. Of course, some kids are more approachable, some families are more approachable than others. And how do you take that to the different level? Yes, we have a keychain, but then what's next?
Anand, your views on the same. It's a huge segment, family segment, to retain them and to expand this for the GCC market. What recommendations or input you have?
See, you have a region like UAE, which is, from a land size, it's about 83,000 kilometers. Saudi as a country is about 1.1 million in terms of land size. All tourism segments are defined, need to be defined differently as far as I'm concerned, because religious tourism is different, business and leisure is entirely different. The luckiest part about this region is that you have the land, you have the culture, you have the space, you have beautiful regions like Aba, Asir, Naif, Hail. So I think it's a combination of cultural tourism with a fusion of modernization in terms of, like we have done IMG Studio or Zoo, or maybe something like a global village. So there's so much that can be offered to families, but again, you cannot ignore that segment because it's a large part of the market. And again, the size of room matters, the quality of product matters, and again, let's define that the entire region, GCC, cannot afford the 82% luxury hotels that are being built here. So you need to cater to the 3 and the 4-star segment also, unless and until you're saying that I'm not going to go after that market. So families are not going to come for paying 2,500 dirhams in the diplomatic quota for a Marriott. They're going to come for something more friendly, more user-friendly, more upscale, affordable luxury. So I think we need to define properly each segment.
Hello.
Maybe I want to add something here, because there's some research points that we've done on the family segment. Obviously, in cruising, family cruising is very important. But we have a exactly, we have a captive audience and a captive family on board. But our research is saying that families want to spend quality time, and that really comes now with the trends of immersive experiences. So exactly like the Kapsa class and so on. And then at the same time, with the privacy of mom and dad and grandpa and grandpa having their own time. So being able to create a program that allows for all of that is very important. Now this is where, back to technology, this is where AI and behavior and that data analytics can come into play, but the human touch of interpreting that is still there at the front line.
True. Very important point, Anand, you mentioned it, and it is the fact, globally, markets, if you go, there is more focus on 3, 4 star, 2 star. This is one of the unique region where our all focus is on luxury, ultra luxury. So if you pick up the top 24 mega projects in the region and you look at the focus, most of them focus is luxury, ultra luxury, and the top end of it. So you're absolutely right. A family with 6 people, can they afford then the rates and presently what is offered in the region? Even Dubai, a family with kids is not an easy one to afford. So there's a huge room for 2, 3 star at the mid-market to grow.
You know, one of the confusing parts when you go to a room nowadays is, do you find the room service menu in a paper form, or you get a QR code, or you look it up on the TV? So that's confusing today in terms of when we are introducing technology. But one of the biggest factors for whether business, leisure, or families, or even religious tourism is Wi-Fi. That's the biggest in terms of technology, but that's not enough. You need to have Netflix, screen mirroring, a lot of little factors that we need to get into that makes us understand what the customer is looking for. So from my perspective, I think every segment has a different need, and you can't discount one after the other.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We have 2 minutes left. Any question from the audience? Our panelists are here. If they can answer any of your questions, please. Okay, you can. Please speak up.
I think it's working now. Hello, gentlemen. I love the talk and all the information that you've shared. They're very valuable. But something that is very important, and I wanted to ask you, right now, Saudi Arabia is opening Umrah all year round, which makes a very good business. I believe that you had a surge in the number of, let's say, tourists for religious tourism. And people are frequently going to Mecca and Medina. So the guest retention experience and the program is provided there. Did you see any trend that is coming? Like, for example, there's a hotel in Mecca that has a very attractive package, and it's like 20 minutes away from Haram. And I believe right now it's fully booked all year round. And it's to the luxury side. So what kind of trend did you see that is coming to Medina and Mecca in specific that can attract and retain the guest who's expected to come multiple times a year?
Let me, I will answer later, but let my panelists first add some input in it. Muhammad, anybody can please.
I will add from my 2 years experience in Mecca, and that was in 2010. So I will try as much as I can, and I believe my colleagues will also put some thoughts on it. So right now the trend is if you are going to perform Umrah. So previously it was the goal is to do Umrah. You finish Umrah and you leave Mecca. You go to Medina, you visit the mosque, you finish from it, you go back and you travel, even for pilgrimage, for Hajj. Currently, people, they are traveling to Medina, they're not spending 2 or 3 nights visiting Al-Haram and leaving, but they are visiting all the historical attraction, the religious attraction which was developed by Medina Authority as part of the package. So the length of stay has been increased. And I believe this is what's happening as well in Mecca. A lot of religious places inside Mecca and Medina has not been completely developed. Some of it, but I believe in the coming couple of years, most of the people, they will be coming to perform Hajj or Umrah for religious region, and at the same time they will be going and having and visiting the historical attraction of Islam in Mecca and Medina. So this is the trend that I have seen in Medina currently.
Absolutely right. So every possible facility you can think of, museums, art galleries, chairlifts, the different tours, the culinary tours, you name it. And both the cities are working on it, so it's a matter of a time. You see the average stay, if it is even 4 or 5 days now, which is higher than the rest of the world, is going to enhance, and the average spend will go to a different level. So all those facilities are on its way, are under planning and development. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your insight views.